Welcome to LOCKBEARD Random Live, number 101, Mr. Plinkett. It is October 12th, 2022. Welcome, everybody. I see Joe, Ernie, and Mark are here. Welcome. Joe's asking who is Mr. Plinkett. That's I want y'all get a little introduction to Mr. Plinkett. But you guys have already seen something from Mr. Plinkett here. So, because I drop the name sometimes, but hoping maybe some of y'all might go and check out. The problem is he hasn't. They haven't. Well, the guys haven't made a new Mr. Plinkett video. So, but oh, where is it? Y'all remember this?
I like to fuck my cat.
That's part of a Mr. Plinkett video. There's a channel called Red Letter Media. They talk about a lot of the types of movies and TV shows, science fiction that I am interested in, and poke fun where absolutely appropriate. And Mr. Plinkett's this character they've created. If you're seeing the face of Mr. Plinkett, I forget the three guys' names that do Red Letter Media, but one of them plays in those skits you see where you're looking at the face of Mr. Plinkett. The videos that are usually the Mr. Plinkett's reviews of a movie or a TV show, that's the voice of the other guy. And if you watch their channel enough, you'll figure out which ones is which. Mr. Lee's here. Welcome. See your chessboard's here. Welcome. Angel Nolan. Welcome. Gave him the link to. We're gonna look at some clips. Just fair warning for those people who were sensitive to some of the, well, like the whole Clunt thing. If that wasn't your cup of tea, there's going to be some humor in Mr. Plinkett videos that are way. Some of it. Well, one case in particular that I can think of right now, that's just way off the reservation. You're not going to like it, but it's just comedy. Calm down. Joe says he doesn't tend to follow a channel where a guy says he loves to fuck his cat. Yes. This is an example of how a lot of his review videos, the Mr. Plinkett character review videos start.
James Cameron's Titanic is a movie that's both one of the best movies ever made, or maybe the worst. How can it be both, you ask? Well, how can Lindsay Lohan be both revolting and fuckable? How did Neil Armstrong land on the moon, but never fuck Lindsay Lohan? Well, let's examine this film and why some people hate it, and why some people love it, right? There's gotta be some kind of explanation.
Was that the way of it?
Is it a good movie, or is it a terrible movie? Well, everything is a matter of opinion.
Ernie says, good evening to chessboard and hydrate. What's the hydrate about? Is chessboard dehydrated? Because I damn sure am, I still think. Let me see here. StreamYard, you need to streamline this nonsense. I'm telling you. See if I can share the next one. There's a, for those aren't aware, there's a new Star Trek show, or what's one of the newest ones, Star Trek Picard, which is absolutely a steaming turd. And so this is a clip from where Mr. Plinkett was making fun of that.
Lastly, my analogy for new Star Trek is this. The father of a household spent decades down in the basement meticulously building a train set. He spent time hand-painting the little figures, putting together each model by hand, placing each miniature fake tree, road sign, water tower, and an individual piece of grass until he had his creation. Then his 12-year-old son and his friends came downstairs and trashed it while he's away. Or in the case of Star Trek Picard, grown adults with the intellects of children. They put fireworks on the tracks, ripped the trees out, threw the trains on the floor, and then shit on everything and spilled beer all over it. Maybe they even took a can of red spray paint and painted an anarchy sign on the table too. This is what the four horse people of the apocalypse have done to Star Trek. I'm sure I'm probably being overly dramatic. And I'm certainly not trying to be a gatekeeper. More of a keymaster.
Uncle Bones, welcome. Mr. Lee agrees that Picard is rubbish. Yes. Sometimes you get him right, Mr. Lee. Sometimes you get him right. Chessboard says, how about Killer Clowns from Washington, D.C.? I am not. I don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. Everybody's just saying hello to Uncle Bones. They do different stuff. There's some skits and stuff. Yeah, Brandy says there is no gatekeeper, only Zool. Welcome, Brandy. Welcome, Icon. Icon says that was fucking hilarious. Something is rubbish. Yeah, it's rubbish. You've sent some good photos, email. Oh, you sent some to him. Oh man, wish this could go smoother. StreamYard is really do. Y'all know better. This clip here, they replaced the dialogue, so the dialogue isn't the same as what it should be. But it's probably much more better.
Welcome back, Lord Tyrannus. Thank you, my master. But what happened back there, well, I'm really not sure. What do you mean you're not sure? Well, Yoda showed up with the clones, and they fought the robots. And I'm not sure who won. Excellent. I must now change my pantaloons. It appears I have shat myself.
Why don't they just tell the Galactic Senate that Obi-Wan Kenobi found a clone army on Kamino? I mean, especially after they're about to vote for a clone army, right?
No, none of it makes sense.
All those years ago.
I never knew how bad this movie was. I mean, I heard, but I didn't think it would be this bad.
Now that I'm with you again, I'm in agony.
Thank you for sharing this with me.
The closer I get to you, the
Sure.
worse it is.
Let's go back to the movie.
The thought
The romantic
of not
scene
being
here.
with you,
Were you ever married?
tormenting
Did you have a wife?
me. You should
I
never
had
forgive me.
3 of them, actually. They all died in unrelated accidents, though.
Hoping
Oh, that must have been awful. Having all 3 of them died tragically.
Number 12.
So you were looking through the eyes of Mr. Plinkett there. Danny's here. He says, greetings from South Carolina. Greetings, Danny. Randy grew up in Ghostbusters. Any friend of Ghost? Yeah, it was good. I mean, good. Just a good movie. You know, but well, I think both of them are pretty good. But you know, Ghostbusters 2016 happened, and they just totally shat on Ghostbusters. It was ridiculous. I'll be back. That would be a Terminator reference. No mas pantaloons. Yeah. That's all I know. Tennis elbow sucks. Mr. Plinkett needs a Leon. Does he need a Leon? I don't know if he needs a Leon. So the next, there's going to be 3 of them that are kind of connected because he did, like he was doing the review of Star Wars The Force Awakens, and every so often he cuts back to you're looking through his eyes in his armchair in his trashed out room, and he gets some visitors. Let's see if I can get this pop up.
Later. You finished the fucking script like a week before they started filming. Think all this was intricately planned out? You must be nuts.
So we spent $100,000 on that suit that we didn't need to spend.
Well, but the suit is actually extremely useful for.
This is fucking grim.
About as intricately planned out as my last bowel movement.
It's only about 7 or 8 pages.
Oh, that's funny. All these people think you've schemed the whole thing up. But in fact, George Lucas, he makes it up as he goes along.
Whoa!
Oh, come on. This thing's always fucking going by itself. Jesus Christ. Where's that armchair repairman at? I called him like weeks ago now. Oh, come on in. It's unlocked. Just be careful not to step in any cat piss. Finally, you're here. Jesus Christ. I've been waiting weeks to have my armchair repaired. Hello? Are you fucking deaf? You are here to fix my armchair, right?
Oh, yes. Yes, that's precisely why I'm here. I'm here to fix your armchair. But I've never fixed this type of armchair before. I guess I'll just have to make it up as I go along, right?
Sure. Whatever. Geez, they're hiring you armchair repair guys a little old now, aren't they? What are you, like 80 or 90? Whatever. Just get to work fixing my armchair so I can sit in it and complain about movies that other people worked really hard on while accomplishing absolutely nothing myself. Get to work.
Anything you say, Mr. Plinkett.
Icon says, Brandy, I renamed it Penis Elbow as it's a pain in the dick to work around. Needs a good talking to. Mr. Plinkett needs a good talking to. Mr. Plinkett's a fake guy. No, there ain't no blood and guts. There'll be something here in a second, though. Why are you booing about? What are you booing about? You think Mr. Plinkett was about to get chopped up? He's not gonna get chopped up. He'll be all right. He has a self defense mechanism. It'll kick in automatically shortly. I believe he had a bunch of Taco Bell.
And action!
In conclusion, so basically what I'm saying with all this is that like a midget in a grocery store, you're all reaching. Oh, gee, sir, I'm sorry it's so hot in here. My only fan just broke recently. I did call a guy to come out and fix it, though. He should be here real soon. Oh, wait, there he is now. Come on in, the door's unlocked. Just don't step in any of the cat piss.
Hi, I'm from JJ's fan service. Here to fix your fan. Oh, hey, George. What are you doing here?
Hi, JJ. I see you brought your corporate tool. Oh, wait, that's you.
Very funny. See that Disney sent you off and running with your red tail between your legs.
All right. Enough with the obvious puns, you two. Just get to work and fix my shit.
Guess we both came here to do the same job, eh?
Well, you came here to do a cheap ripoff of the job I did 40 years ago.
Got paid.
How about a collaboration?
Hey.
Collaboration on what? What are you guys doing? Why are you coming at me with weapons? Oh my God!
What's happening with Mr. Lee is he's calling everything rubbish. Everything's rubbish. No, I don't think he's related to Mr. Limpet. Oops. Gotta lay with the little one, y'all take care. No, don't go. Don't go, Brandy. You haven't seen the conclusion of what happens when what happens with J.J. Abrams and George Lucas at Mr. Plinkett's house. There's Sandra. Well, welcome, Sandra. You stepped in at the wrong time, I think. Welcome, B. Lynn. But the show must go on.
Gentlemen, as a former and current murderer, I can tell that you guys aren't really repairmen. That's all right. If you're here to kill me, just do it. But do me a favor. Make it as painful as possible, because I haven't felt anything in years.
Gladly.
Good night, Mr. Plinkett. I'm afraid you've got a bad feeling about this.
No. Oh, no.
What is that?
I don't know, but it sounds like a Wookiee.
Oh, God, it's me. There has been an awakening. Have you heard it?
Oh, my God.
Oh, no. Oh, God, the force of the diarrhea tore right through my trousers. Oh, my God, I keep shitting. I can't stop shitting. Oh, my God, I'm literally shitting on Star Wars. Oh, God, it must have been the stink volcano case of Monterito.
I've got to stop it. I got to stop. I'm just going to stick my thumb in there. I'm going to get right in. Oh, God, it's not working. It's not working.
So sorry. Now that's what I call the Force Awakens. Oh, fuck, I forgot to ask if anybody wanted a pizza roll.
You know, a lot of times he tells people that he'll send them a pizza roll. I don't think he'll actually do it though. Mr. Lee says that was me last week. That's the worst of it. I was only going to show one more clip. I think did he talk about? I think he ate Taco Bell or something about burritos or Chipotle or something. I can't remember what he said. That is not the crudest comedy you see at Mr. Plinkett's apartment. Fair warning. Yeah, I didn't even want to show you some of this shit. It's way out of control. He shit everywhere and then cook the shit out of the pizza rolls, dude. Yeah, he's always cooking pizza rolls. Always cooking pizza rolls. I got one more clip. This is where he's talking about The Last Jedi, which was another steaming turd. They just destroyed Star Wars, you know, made just absolute crap movies in recent years. But that's what we got.
No real lightsaber. There's no real lightsaber at all. At least not IRL. It's all hoax. Oh my God. Seriously though, this guy literally just did pretty much the opposite of what we expected. Did he think all this was going to blow our fucking minds? The only thing that could blow my mind is a giant pile of Tony Montana cocaine. God, I miss the 80s. The 1880s. That's when you could get the real good stuff. The 1980s was okay, I guess. But I'm really looking forward to the 2080s. Digital 3D printed cocaine sponsored by Disney. Snort up before you see Star Wars Episode 47, the last. But wait, there's more.
Yes, failure, most of all.
You see, all this shit that I've just talked about is what we know already. And what we've complained about ad nauseum. The whole internet collectively has complained about subverting expectations out of.
Whoops.
Internet collectively has complained about subverting.
Yeah, that there is Ryan Johnson. Absolutely useless human being. We've talked about him before. It's Star Wars movies. Of course, JJ, as you remember, JJ Abrams made The Force Awakens, the first movie of the new trilogy, and it was just a piece of crap. He did, start out the story, and there was potential for someone to finish out the story arcs correctly. But then Ryan Roundhead Johnson over here stepped in and did the next movie, The Last Jedi. And he just basically shut down the story arcs. It's like he didn't know he was making the second movie in a trilogy. That's why, Mr. Plinkett and tons of other commentators out there are saying it's like they didn't have a plan. You plan like you say we're going to make 3 movies, and that was the extent of their plan. Was we plan to make 3 movies, we plan to make a trilogy. They didn't have it. They didn't have a treatment properly wrote out, let alone scripts for these 3 movies. And the movie watchers see this. Not everybody does. Some people, they just go there to watch whatever bullshit's on the screen, and they don't even really they don't understand that some of that stuff is crap they're watching. You could show them hours of dogs taking a shit, and they'd probably be entertained by it. But a lot of people did notice. A lot of people noticed that it was just garbage. And Ryan Johnson's thinking he's being clever. That's what he's talking about. Mr. Plinkett mentioned there, and many others have mentioned. He's trying to subvert your expectations. If you utilize that correctly, it's good. But he absolutely did not. He simply he's just a complete idiot and made a complete crap movie. And like I says, a deep fried pizza rolls once had the whole fountain experience. Awesome, man. Must have done it right. Mr. Lee agrees. The Last Jedi is rubbish. Yeah. Yep. All those movies were rubbish. B. Lynn says the guy speaks some truth. Chessboard says, Uncle Bones, where does the madness stop? What kind of being would do this? Scientists have transplanted human brain cells into the brains of baby rats. Oh, that's just the shit you hear about, man. Imagine what kind of stuff is going on behind the scenes. B. Lynn says, there will never be a Last Jedi. Yeah, I don't know how you save the Star Wars franchise at this point. It's fucking done unless you somehow get new ownership that basically states that for the purposes of our movies going forward, the only movies that count as canon is what they are now calling episodes 4, 5, and 6. The three movies, the ones that we all grew up with. That may be the only way to revitalize it is if they stay true to those movies. Don't just try to basically make a soft reboot like J.J. Abrams did, and then do this, whatever this turd right here did, and make another movie about a couple movies about shit that no one really cared, about. So like there was Solo. Well, we talked about why there was problems with that. They miscast him first of all. Did I pull up a video of that actor that I thought that if they were going to do a young Han Solo, they needed to use that actor. I can't remember his name right now, but he did he looked like he could be young Han Solo, and I was hoping it'd just pop up, and he sounded the part. He looked like it, and he sounded like it. Yeah, here we go. The guy's name is Anthony Ingruber. Oh, sorry. His name is Anthony Ingruber. Let me bring this guy up. Boom. Right there. Go back to the 80. Free judging, I really don't like this stuff. It just smells nice. Franchise was done almost 40 years ago, says Icon. Icon says, "Can't wait till they donkey punch their way through another Indiana Jones." Yeah, they didn't need to introduce aliens for that last one. And I don't know that it was. I don't know. They managed to fuck it up. And why the hell Shia LaBeouf had to be involved, and all that shit. Was it really necessary to bring back his old girlfriend that he hooked up with when she was 16? I don't think anyone really thought, gosh, wouldn't it be nice if Indiana Jones hooked up with that chick again? Probably not. Probably not. Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, and Boba Fett, Mr. Lee thinks is good. Well, I haven't actually watched any of them. I've seen clips that look like they were good stuff and then clips that weren't. But, I mean, it sounds like Obi-Wan had some serious goddamn problems. And then the whole Gina Carano thing and was an issue. Number 5, Indiana Jones. Andor's rubbish. Meredith's here. Welcome. She says, hello, Lockbeard, and everyone in the chatty chat. Hope y'all are doing good today. So, check this clip out. Hold on.
Han Solo, I'm Captain of the Millennium Falcon. Courier tells me you're looking for a passage to the Alderaan system. A fast ship? You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? It's the ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs. I've outrun Imperial starships. Not the regular Balkan cruisers, mind you. I'm talking about the big Corellian ships now. She's fast enough for the old man. What's the cargo? Why, is it some kind of local trouble? Well, that's the real trick, isn't it? It's going to cost you something extra. 10,000, all in advance. Yeah, but who's going to fly it, kid? You? 17, huh? Alright, you guys have got yourselves a ship. Leave as soon as you're ready. Docking Bay 94. Looks like someone's taken an interest in some of your handiwork.
Oops, I did it again. Well, you saw the comments. I was reading those comments. That basically, like here, the correct timeline, but aliens just didn't fit with Indiana Jones for me. It should be some kind of mystical thing, some kind of gods or some kind of cult or what it's always been. He gets into some archaeological nonsense that ends up being some hocus pocus crap going on. Did they make it to Studio 54 for that one, or is Indy battling hippies? Oh, you're asking B. Lynn. Yeah, he looks a lot more like Harrison Ford than the guy that they used. I forget the guy that they used in the movie, but I mean, ultimately, I'm not sure that I would want it. Just the idea of making a movie about a Han Solo origin story, I would immediately think is a bad idea, except that I had seen this clip. You got someone this good to mimic and looks like he could be a young Han Solo. You know, that gives you something to work with a little bit there. You know, it'd add so much believability to it. But you gotta have a good script, and they didn't. They had steaming turd. Has the part down well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he totally. If they were gonna do it, they should have grabbed this guy, but they didn't. This actor, I believe, I can't remember what movie it was, where he played he played a part where he was playing the young version of a character that was played by Harrison Ford. So he doesn't pass for a Yugo. Ford. Shit. Yeah, I did again. Oh, what we got here? Got another bot. I'm gonna bring him up on screen. I'm sure somebody smacked it down. Why are we getting hit with bots? Donald's here. He says, "Hey folks, what's up, Lockbeard? Welcome, Donald. You're not a bot. You're not a bot, Mr. Lee. You're just English." So yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have stuff. My computer's got all kinds of stuff from no completed script, because that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to complete a script. Then you got to get it copyrighted, so that if you do send it to someone, they don't steal it, because that shit happens. They'll try and steal your shit. And let's get rid of Mr. and Gruber. So, you know, I've talked about before how I had story ideas pertaining to Star Wars and some one particular idea for a crossover with Star Wars that I think would just, I think a lot of people would really, really love it. But there's no point in trying to go down that road and spending all the time it would take to, and you know, you got to pay to get copyrighted, and so that's money out of your pocket. It's not a whole lot, but still, it's a lot of time as well. So it's just it's trash. They've completely trashed the Star Wars franchise, and they're trying to trash every franchise out there. You know, maybe that's their plan. They don't want people that have better ideas than the bullshit writers that they use to write a script and just throw it on the internet for people to read, and then catch the backlash from the fact that that, like, say I did that and people liked my script, and there would be backlash. It'd be like, all right, well, this guy sent you this script, and you guys, instead of using that, you made this turd movie, and then you made this turd movie. So it's pointless. Star Wars is fucking dead. And so I haven't really, because it's hard to explain. Like, you put together different materials, you'll have, like, maybe a character bios and timelines and outlines, and like, if you're a writer, you have all kinds of bullshit going on. It's hard to explain what it all is, but it's a big jumble mess, but it's all together right here. You know what it is. It's just, it's not written out in script form, and you got to figure out a lot of shit. Like, one of my, like, in Star Trek, I'm really interested in, like, how the timelines lay out, because they got a holy shit clusterfuck of, and actually I put on my timelines thing clusterfucks in some cases, because there's some temporal incursion events in Star Trek that who knows how many alternative timelines there are connected to that event. It's such a massive clusterfuck. You might have said that's too funny. Mr. Lee says, yes, I'm English, man. He's an Englishman. He's not. Don't call him British. You'll piss this motherfucker off right here. He is an Englishman who is constantly harassed by some Scientologist cult member named Tom Cruise. Mr. Lee. He's not a bot, but maybe he's an inbred lizard. Could be. He might be. See the video. Donald just saying hi to everybody there. Meredith says, I hate missing the beginning of the show. I'm lost. Yeah, we're probably lost too. We're actually on a different topic than we started with. Just a little bit of an introduction to Mr. Plinkett. I guess what I didn't say very explicitly is that they haven't made a new Mr. Plinkett's review in like 2 years. And so hopefully people, because the name is in the title, hopefully people link up with this video and start asking, hey, what is the deal? And then they go over there and comment, and they say, hey, this guy over here is like saying, where's the new Mr. Plinkett's, man? We need more Mr. Plinkett. Mr. Plinkett was goddamn awesome. Maybe the humor isn't for everybody, but I like their fucking Mr. Plinkett skits. Although at times Mr. Plinkett can get really too crude that I'm not even going to probably post. At least one incident that I can think of. I wouldn't put it on here, I don't think. Because it's just wrong. It's so wrong. Dan inbred lizard. Chatting up moms. I'm on a new phone. Learn my language. It has to learn your language. Adventures of Mark Twain, 1944. Donald says, I want to watch what that looks like a good movie. Chessboard. Mr. Lee says, Tom Cruise, that douche nozzle. Ah, yes. That's your boyfriend, Mr. Lee. Is your boyfriend going to stop in here tonight, Mr. Lee? Because he might. I might be able to show you. It'll work. Okay. This is a never-ending. If I can get this thing, it's a never-ending work because there's so much to decompress. Not even decompress, but there's so much to deciphering the timelines in Star Trek is a big freaking mess. So this doesn't even scratch the surface, but it gives you an idea how clusterfucked it is. So let me see if I can share this. It's on a Canva file. Hold on. There we go. There we go. So who's familiar with Star Trek? You watched Tim T in Florida last video. He has a Sasquatch eyes in video. More eyes in the dark. He claims it's a Sasquatch. Couldn't possibly be some other animal, a dog, maybe a cougar, maybe just a damn raccoon. But yeah, that just scratches the surface right there. You probably, I mean, if you're someone that watches or at least you used to watch Star Trek, you're probably aware of these episodes. But this is only because there's a whole bunch more where there's time travel and there's temporal incursions. So you know how they talk about the prime timeline, right? That yellow dotted looks like a string of beads going across. That's what they call the prime timeline. It is not the original unblemished timeline by far. Every time something happens, so the timeline is coming along, and then you'll see that first green bar that comes down and it goes down to it shows you the year 1930 is where the time they went to. TOS is the original series, and the episode was The City on the Edge Forever. So you see where it says, one of them says Bones alternate, and one of them says original. Original is the original timeline. That's what the timeline was supposed to be before they fucked it up. So the prime timeline isn't what it's supposed to be. They travel back in time down that green line there to, you can see the start of a little string of beads timeline. That's what I'm using to represent timelines on this. Showing the original. That's what the timeline was before they fucked with it. Then there's another one coming off that same green bar. Bones altered it. Okay. Bones went and back in time first. And he created, in my view, you can't, grandfather paradoxes are not, there's no excuse for a goddamn grandfather paradox. See, in Star Trek, they go, there's so many different rules they follow in Star Trek, there's nothing consistent. But my idea about time travel, well, one is you should never fuck with time travel in any sci-fi. Time travel is goddamn stupid. It's a completely stupid idea from the very beginning. But so if Bones didn't go back in time, Kirk and Spock would not have had to go back in time too to get him and bring him back. All these events had to happen beforehand for the new timeline, the new prime timeline, because it goes on, right? Because they came back to their timeline their point in time and carried on. So the event. So you can't. How can you possibly say, like they do in some of these Star Trek episodes, that the timeline that they so-called fixed no longer exists? That doesn't even follow. Like, do I have? I wonder if I have. Yeah, yesterday's Enterprise. It's on there. Where Guinan sensed that timeline had been changed. And all of a sudden, Tasha Yar is back on the Enterprise. She had died. If you remember in Star Trek The Next Generation, she had died. But because the timeline was changed, she was back. And in this timeline, she never died. But in this altered timeline, she ends up going back with the old version of the Enterprise that had come from the past. And because this altered timeline happened because that old Enterprise disappeared from the past. So they decided to send it back to fix the timeline. But the problem is the so-called fixed timeline now has Tasha Yar in it. They sent her back. And then she had a daughter, and then ended up facing her Romulan daughter later on. That's an entirely new timeline. It's not the same. It's not a fixed timeline. It's closer to the original, but it's not the same one. So this is why time travel into the past is always goddamn stupid. You cannot escape the logic, the illogic of a grandfather paradox. It don't make any goddamn sense. So, but the problem is, but the problem is in my idea to fix the whole goddamn mess as far as the new series and everything they jacked around is to actually go back to the end of Voyager. That's what that dark blue bar is. That's not an actual episode that exists. That is something that happens in the pilot episode of my series idea, to fix some bullshit and get things back on track, basically. Because it was goddamn stupid. The end of Voyager was goddamn stupid. Every time somebody fucks with a timeline, or almost every time, you'll end up with temporal investigations showing up and saying, "What the fuck did you do?" And then, like in the Enterprise series, the Star Trek Enterprise series, this guy from temporal, what do they call him? They were the time. They were manipulating time. They were coming from the future, and actually helping Jonathan Archer to navigate the bullshit of the temporal Cold War. Well, so now they're directly interfering. So which is it? Are you not supposed to fuck with the timeline, or are you? They can't even follow those goddamn rules. See, we got more bots. Mr. Lee says Tim T put a lot of effort into his investigations. Donald says only two cool things that stick in my brain about Star Trek was Kirk getting all the alien hoochies and the orchestra piece when Kirk was fighting. You mean when he was fighting the Gorn? Man, that was some horrible, horrible fake fighting. Mr. Lee says, Donald, yeah, he was handsome then, even though he was wearing a corset. Actually, in the Plinkett reviews, he makes fun of that. He basically says that he had to wearing a corset. So yeah, the Voyager finale. So Janeway basically goes back and interferes with time, and nobody stops her. Geordi LaForge tries in the present time for the future Janeway that went back in time. He tries to stop her, but he fails. but the temporal investigations guys did not. So I think others have probably commented on this, how it seems like they only interfere if it's bad for the Federation. If it's good for the Federation, they might let it slide, kind of thing. I think that entire incident needs to be fucking dealt with. And it would make sense for it to be dealt with because they dealt with shit like that before. In many of these other episodes, they show up and they're like, "What the fuck did you do?" Is Trials and Tribulations on there? I might not have it stuck on the timeline yet. Let me go back to the. Let me see if I can. I don't. It's got to be over here. Yeah. Yeah, there's some more of them sitting over here that I haven't stuck in their proper place on the timeline yet. Like I said, this is such a big puzzle to piece together. It's hard to. It's a ongoing thing, but Trials and Tribulations, the green ones in the middle, and that they're all stacked up over here, waiting to be placed where they belong. That's where the DS9 crew goes back in time, and they're actually on Kirk's Enterprise, the original series Kirk's Enterprise. That time when they had the Tribbles and the Klingons were on board and all that bullshit happened. Yeah, I got that. I'm summer's over, so I'm just not going to do it right now, but maybe next year, or maybe hopefully I can just keep things cooler next year if things change. Donald says I mumble that song when I'm fighting a 10-pound walleye. You talking about the song with the Gorn fight? Oops. Moving what? M4. I don't even know what that means. If you report the bots, they disappear and not clutter chat. Just the tip, says Uncle Bones. Mr. Lee says he done it. You don't have an emoji? Let's see what I think I got on the top of this. Yeah, all our yesterdays. That one's a weird one. That's when the original series crew went back in time, and they well, I mean, they ended up in two different time periods, but that's why there's two other branch timelines. There was nothing. They were on this other planet, and the planet was destroyed in a supernova in 2269. So these people never left their planet. What they did was that somehow they didn't have the ability to leave their planet and go to space, but they had the ability to time travel into the past. So their idea of an evacuation was to evacuate all their people into the past of their own planet. So they still all, in the end, they all fucking die. It don't make any goddamn sense, but it was the original series. None of that shit made sense. But anyway, so the reason, see, these are just interesting things, I think. So what if you, because these are the alternate timelines, but in the prime timeline, it's possible that you end up with, if you maybe you can logic around where that that lady that Spock fell in love with, actually, because of her experiences with them, it encourages her to find a way to take some of her people and leave the planet, and then that can affect all kinds of shit in the timeline, and it could be an interesting thing to explore in a new series. And there's a timeline more compressed. It's just between 2364 and 2405 or something like that. I think I got on here. Yeah. Anyway, I got everything because just in case. That's top secret information. That's all X'd out. It has to do with the series idea. So if I ever show this to people, and then to discuss the project, I'm not revealing everything about. Well, there's not everything, but there's a lot of information there that someone might decide to take and use for their own. Because there's so often those guys steal shit, man. There's so many cases where they steal shit. That wasn't supposed to happen. Although it doesn't tell you that much, but it gives you a little bit of information that I wouldn't want everybody to know necessarily. It doesn't really give. It gives a couple big plot points, but Uncle Bone says, Mr. Lee, you hid them there. There's a difference, just saying. Donald says, Mr. Lee, I don't have an emoji option on my keyboard on this phone. How can I get to them? Try to block, but they wouldn't do it. Smiley face. Donald says, Uncle Bones, I think it only hides them for the person hiding them. Yeah, an actual report, I think, is needed to really fight these things. Lockbeard and everyone else. Raptor, how you doing? Raptor, welcome to the chat. Donald says, I don't know a buddy gave me. I just put my SIM card in it. Raptor says that Donald, not too bad tonight. Glad you guys are out and about. Yeah, it didn't look like anyone else is going to be live, and I haven't done a random for a week, something like that. So, here we are. Let's see if I can bring up. Wonder if we can get away with part of the Gorn fight. Maybe, perhaps. I don't want to see that part. Where's the part where he actually... This is some goofy ass Star Trek, old original series Star Trek shit right here. Let me get it pulled up.
only someone with contact.
I just want to know who the camera guy is down there filming him. How are they able to watch this like it's on TV from their ship? I mean, do they have a drone down there floating around? And if so, why doesn't that bitch have phasers?
Yes, indeed, Doctor. If only there were.
Notice the substance encrusting that rock.
Yes. Unless I'm mistaken, it's potassium nitrate. So, perhaps nothing, Doctor. Perhaps everything.
Who is this, the Metron?
This is your opponent, Earthling. I have heard every word you have said.
All right, what do you want?
I weary of the chase. Wait for me. I shall be merciful and quick.
Like you were at Census 3?
You were intruding.
See another bot. Raptor says, hello, Angel. Having a good one. Donald says, Sean and Brent come on later, I think. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Uncle Bones says, Lockbird, yes, that is what I do, is report to hide them, only a temporary fix. To hide them, only temporary fix. Yeah. Yeah. It's never any battle. I still think YouTube will let that shit happen on purpose, though. To channels they don't like. No, Joe's not on tonight. At least not as far as I know. Something the Sasquatch is on in an hour. Yeah, see. In about an hour. I actually got it pulled up, his emblem here. Tonight's live stream is titled The Devil's in the Details. So see what he's got going on tonight. Remote viewing? What do you mean? Oh, you're talking about them look how they're able to watch Kirk on the planet like it's a TV set. Yeah. Does anybody actually go over there and watch Jessica Jones bullshit? Is she aware that I have a target designated for her to remote view to try and prove that she can do what she claims she does? Donald says, I haven't checked it. Chessboard, I had a few days that before I needed to look. Raptor says I did that, I think. So Raptor, so why do you not want a wrench? You want me to take a wrench off? I just don't know why you don't want one. Oh, shoot. Clicked it and reported spam, so I don't know if it was me or somebody else. Mr. Lee says, Raptor, I thought you didn't want to be a mod. I told Lockbeard you didn't want to wrench as you asked me to. Yeah, you don't have to do anything if you got a wrench. I don't care that much. Some people want to. Mr. Lee seems to like doing it. But a whole bunch of you have a wrench, so it's not like you're obligated to do anything. So if you really want me to take a wrench off, Raptor, I can, but I figured you'd like to have a wrench because you're always complaining in other people's chats how the people with the wrenches are oppressing you, timing you out and blocking you and shit, and so here that's not going to happen unless you go into full on troll mode. But and if you want to attack the bots when they show up, you can. They don't. It's really not that huge. I mean, I don't. If they're in a chat, I guess, whatever. But it's just that they flood, and they're not contributing anything to whatever we're talking about. Mr. Hugh is here. Welcome. Raptor says, 3PO. I know. I just saw what happened. I popped on. I saw you block the other ones. I tried to report them and didn't go through. The devil's in the details. The description down here says, Brent and I discussed the Bigfoot phenomenon from a point of view of how evidence is presented, and yes, the devil is in the details. See that there's a Red Letter Media.
Did you have to find new tools for Picard?
We're back.
We're back, everybody. We're back. Talk about Star Trek Picard.
So that guy there, you may have already figured out, is the voice of Mr. Plinkett. The other guy appears in some of the skits as Mr. Plinkett.
Rich couldn't wait.
Couldn't wait, Rich. Couldn't wait to talk about this show. We're back.
And then someone wrote the next one. And they said, well, they look back at the previous two scripts and we're like, okay, I guess we'll do this. And then someone wrote the next one. And
You mean what were my first thoughts? Yeah.
Uncle Bones says, Raptor, the blue wrench protects you, brother. Yeah, you can whack people over the head with it. I would say you could whack Patrick Vaughn over the head with it, but he pussed out and ran from us. He blocked us all, and in case anyone doesn't understand the internet, if you block people, you're basically turning tail and running and hiding from them on the fucking internet. Like, you're so scared of what they're going to say to you that you have to block them online. That's pretty pansy ass shit right there. So, you're not going to be able to whack Patrick Vaughn, I guess, because he ain't coming here. He's too scared. I don't know why the fuck he blocked me. Like, I wasn't even going hard on him or anything. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't even remember if I said anything. I might have said I just don't, I don't think he saw what he thought he saw, I've been saying more lately, but as far as him thinking he saw a Sasquatch cloaking, I think that if he believed he saw that, it's far more likely that what happened is he saw one and he kind of blacked out for a minute from the shock. And then by the time he kind of come to his senses, the thing had hidden in the shrubbery or something. It managed to get hidden. So he has a moment of of missing memory. He blacked out for a second, which, a lot of people who done some serious drinking know what it's like. You've been drinking enough, like there will be blanks in your memory of the events of the evening, right? Well, my thought is if Patrick Vaughn really thought he saw a Sasquatch disappeared, more likely is he just blacked out from the shock for a moment. Not so much that he fell on the ground, but enough that he don't really have a memory of seeing the thing go in the bushes. He was just too shocked for his brain to engage. And of course, if he truly did see that and he's just mistaken about what he actually witnessed, that potentially led him down this whole path of thinking that he's figuring some stuff out about it, his equation, his wood knock equation, which I don't know how it's an equation. He's using the word equation, but
you keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Exactly. Because all he says is, you knock once for this and knock twice for that or whatever, and it's not that's not an equation. I guess he doesn't maths much. Mr. Lee says, the way I see it, Patrick Vaughn tried to sabotage some shows with his anger. Possibly, some of these people can't handle that people don't want to believe them. They can't be like Joe, right? Joe's fine with people not believing him. He doesn't expect anyone to believe him because he's, it's just this is his story, and you can't just expect people to believe what seems like a pretty fantastic story to most people, based on the word of a guy that they saw on the internet, right? Some people have trouble getting the people closest to them to even believe him. Well, shit. I mean, does Molly even believe him at this point yet? It's just, so if you get mad at everybody who don't believe you, then you're going to be mad at a lot of motherfuckers. And it's an unreasonable expectation. You can't expect people to believe, that you saw what you saw. There's always that possibility in their heads that you're just mistaken about what you saw. But Patrick Vaughn, man, he doesn't have any tolerance for people. So that's, where the issues came from. And I guess that's why he's got me blocked. Maybe one of these days we should, dedicate a live stream to him. I don't know. He's kind of a small player in the scheme of things, but whatever. It wouldn't be the first time I've done something like that. Raptor says, I've not seen Patrick's comments since Nikki blocked me on Pat's channel. I think that was a year ago. Yeah. Well, hey, he's doing you a favor. You don't have to see his shit. So maybe it's a good thing. But sometimes, like, it gets popped up on the screen like Angel's comment is here, or on some other people's channels, or they'll say something to him. They'll say hi, or respond to his question. Roger says, Angel, I know when he's on chat because I see people saying hello to him, but I don't see what he's typing in at all ever since I've been blocked on Pat's channel that time. Yeah, he's got you blocked. He's also got me blocked. So, and I think then he got you blocked, Mr. Lee, and definitely got Donald blocked. I'm sure he's got Donald blocked. Because he turned around and ran like a little bitch. So, hey, Patrick, I don't want to say that about you, but that's what happened. That's what the internet is. If you block someone, it's because you can't even withstand their typed words on the goddamn internet. You're scared of what they're going to say to you. It's pretty goddamn bad. It's just words, dude. It's okay. People disagree with you. That's fucking life. Angel says the Raptor, he was a mod there, so it could have been him that blocked you. Well, Nikki said it was her. She said she blocked him. She got fed up with you, Raptor. Angel says Patrick Vaughn's original story was plausible. Then I think it went to his head and the story grew and grew. Yeah, I mean, maybe that, the presentation of that evolution over time can happen one of these days. It's a lot of work to sort all that kind of stuff out. And, so, because I think to properly address the Patrick Vaughn story, it would require, doing that. It'd be a lot of time for someone to spend trying to piece, get all the clips you need to kind of show to people what went down, and how it got out of control, like so many things do. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's just you can't please everybody in this subject, but Chessboard says, Mr. Hugh, take more Gablinko. What in the hell is that? Mr. Lee says, hold on. He has you blocked, so he cannot see your comments, not because he was a mod, same as IB. Yeah, it's not because he wasn't his mod powers. It's everyone has the ability to block other people so that they can't see you and you can't see them. And yeah. So whatever, that's kind of how that's a good way to kind of to find out. That's people who do that, they're hiding for a reason. That's that they're showing their hand that they are full of shit, So Duke, when he blocks me, or he has blocked me, he's had me blocked for a long time. Why? Because Duke is full of shit, and he doesn't like the fact that I say so. Duke is completely full of shit. Y'all watching, hopefully y'all ain't watching no World Bigfoot Radio and actually believing that bullshit that he spews. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's He's got it all figured out. There's this many types of Sasquatch, there's Chinosqua, and all this bullshit. We ain't got one individual on a slab, and he somehow knows that there's multiple different kinds and what their behaviors are and all this bullshit. And he's got the whole fucking Glag saga shit. Are we buying that shit too? This whole fucking story about this Sasquatch that they befriended and has a scar or some shit, and whatever, man. He's so full of shit. High times these days. Angel says, Mr. Lee, LAB has me blocked, and I seldom did more than say hello. Yeah, what a... LAB is a kind of douchebag. He probably looked at anyone that comes in my chat and blocked everybody. That's how much of a complete fucking just bottom-feeding douche nozzle just dipshit that he is. You just showed your hand, LIB. You showed that you were full of shit. You're not hearing Sasquatch talking in your head telepathically. You just hear voices because you're fucking schizo or some shit. Or you're goddamn lying. Those are your two options. You don't get to have Sasquatch talking to you psychically. I mean, what the fuck is special about you that Sasquatch wants to talk to you and not everybody else? Not a goddamn thing. So either you're goddamn lying or you're fucking schizo. Goddamn moron. Mr. Lee says, if you are not a mod and you hover over someone's avatar, it gives you option to block. That means you will not see any comments in that person. Yes. Yes. That's what these guys have all done to us. Duke, fucking Tex has blocked me. So again, like I said, if someone's blocked me, it's because they're full of shit. They cannot withstand any kind of scrutiny. They don't want me to be able to talk in response to anything they say in anyone else's chat. This isn't just on their channel, right? If I'm over in Squash Talk chat and Tex shows up, he doesn't want me to see his comments. That's why I encourage everybody to throw all the comments on the screen that you can. Don't let these fuckers pull this goddamn game of hiding right here in the chat like a fucking pussy. You got to be pretty good. You got to be quite the fucking pussy that you have to hide from people in the chat. You're so afraid that they might say something in response to whatever bullshit you're spewing. You're goddamn liars. That's why you're doing it. Tex, LIB, Duke, all you motherfuckers, Patrick Vaughn, you're goddamn liars. You showed your hand when you started blocking all these people that disagree with your story or don't buy into your story, because your bullshit cannot withstand scrutiny. That's just the goddamn truth. Sorry you don't like it. Fuck off. Well, at least on the bright side, we don't have to look at your bullshit. You guys you're fucking full of shit. You will not let your stories be subjected to proper scrutiny. So, we don't really need to see your bullshit. So, whatever, go away. Way too much. We all respect you here. Yes. Donald says, Lockbeard, Untold Radio has blocked all my channels. How do they have access to know all my channel names? I don't know. I didn't know that was possible. So the only thing I figure is if you accidentally went on there in all those different names at some point and said something. But if you didn't, then this is some bullshit right here. How the fuck did they know what your other channels' names are? I don't know who to complain to or ask, because you don't want everybody to be able to look up what your other channels are. If you have other channels, sometimes, a person may have a channel for their business and a channel for their family, and they don't really want the two to mix. So you don't need someone watching videos on one channel to see suggested videos over here on the right side of the screen from the other channel. The algorithm needs to not have that shit happening unless you specifically indicate that you want it done. But so that's kind of alarming to me right there. How the fuck, like, shit, I don't think I even knew you had any other channels, to be honest. I didn't know you had any other channels until you mentioned that. Mr. Lee says, Donald, do you have all your accounts linked to your one account? Well, yeah, I mean, there are all the channels are on the one account, but I don't know of any way to see what other channels a person has. The only way I know to figure that out is if you somehow figure it out from chat commentary or the comments down below videos, that you somehow revealed your identification to someone in the comments or the chat. Or if you revealed that information on your about tab, if you put that information I didn't think that information was just something that you could go on YouTube and just get about someone else. And if that is the case, man, that's not cool. It shouldn't be like that. Angel says initially, I don't worry about those that won't answer questions. Yeah. Donald says chest showed, yeah, but it hasn't made it to the Williston up center yet. So I won't get it till tomorrow. IP uses IP addresses and carriers. Gary's here. Welcome. He says, if I get blocked, then I know they're not true to the core, but just being YouTubers. Gary said, or Mr. Donald says, Mr. Lee, but it should be private. Yeah, it should be private. Good evening, Gary. Says it's on its way. Doesn't say up for delivery. Waiting on a message or something. Donald, Mr. Lee says, Donald, you need better protection. You have two-step auto. Well, that would mean that his account got hacked. So, that would be, if you're saying that that's what happened, then you're saying that Untold Radio hacked Donald's account. And I certainly don't think that's what happened. I just think they somehow figured out what your channels were. If you came in and commented, if you commented from your other channels challenging comments that they didn't like, they may have blocked you for separate instances, thinking that you were separate people and not even realizing that those were your accounts. Those were your channels. Donald says, when I figured out this channel was blocked, I went down the list and they were all blocked except for one. That one was blocked after the last show I was on with Mike Hunt. Did you say something with that last channel to challenge them? Because they might, they may be pretty damn strict about, if you come in their chat, you probably shouldn't say anything almost, because there's the slightest hint of challenge and they might just block you. I mean, it could just be because of what you said. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't have any desire to go to Untold Radio. I hope that they wither away and go away as they deserve. Because it's just another TV show invading the YouTube space because they're not getting the viewership they want on TV. Because people, Bigfoot interested people are actually not wanting to watch those shows. A lot of people aren't. I don't typically watch them. It's just it's TV dramatization. It's there to just get people to watch and be spooked and blah blah blah. It's bullshit. Finding Bigfoot, Monster Quest, all these motherfuckers are bullshit. And that's what they got over there on Untold Radio is a whole load of bullshit. So what are you gonna do? Anyway, I'm not watching them. So I don't know what you said, but I'd bet that there was something you said. Mr. Lee says, Donald, I bet that has something to do with the YouTube. You should report that. Donald says, what's funny? They responded to something I said with Mike Hunt, and both Doug and his kid went off screen. I think they checked in to see if it was me. Yeah, but how do they fucking know? Are they able? You think they're so, Mr. Lee? You think they're checking the IP address? I mean, I wonder if that's. I mean, are they being that fucking nutsoid? Are they that fucking insane that they're checking people? I mean, I don't know. Is there a way to do that? Raptor says, how do you see if somebody has multiple channels on YouTube? That doesn't make sense. That's what we're talking about. We don't think that should be something that you should be able to just look and see. Sometimes you have multiple channels, but you need them to be separate for a reason. Now, this channel has kind of got mixed up with one of my other channels on just because out of necessity, because sometimes the LOCKBEARD channel gets shut down for a week. YouTube is a bitch. And so I have to do live streams over on the other one, the Spare. So that's why I changed Achaeos Salisbury to Achaeos Salisbury, aka LOCKBEARD, because I put some LOCKBEARD stuff over there because out of necessity I had to. It was the only place I could do it at the time, and then I uploaded it here after the block was over. Well, the stuff that I could. There was that one case a while back where I couldn't upload it here because they blocked it over there, so I just knew they would block it over here. But it's over on Rumble, so that would mean they're keeping a list of IP addresses of people they don't like. Damn, Doug, that's some next level. That's some next level blocking of people right there. Doug Highcheck has got to be the biggest pussy of them all. If he's doing that, he's a bigger pussy than Patrick Vaughn, LIB, Tex, and Duke all put together. All you motherfuckers hiding from people on the internet. That's fucked up. Because you're afraid they might say something you don't like. You're afraid they might disagree with you. That's fucking crazy. Fucking pussies. Chessport says they use your carrier and IP address when you create an account. Oops, didn't mean to click on that. It jumped up so quick. Donald says that channel's blocked now. I said nothing trollish. I wouldn't know where to look, Raptor. I don't know how to know that. I didn't think there was a way. If Doug Highcheck is doing that shit, it must be something like that, like he's checking IP addresses and he's keeping He's got a list. He's got a list. He's like Santa Claus. He's got a list and he's checking it twice. You know, he's got some. He got something against Donald apparently. I bet he's probably got me blocked. I haven't had any occasion to check because I'm not interested in saying anything in his chat. His show is bullshit. You know, that channel's bullshit. You know, that's what's wrong with that whole subject matter of cryptids, aliens, paranormal in general, is these people that are there just to exploit the subject for profit, not actually interested in finding anything. And the search for Bigfoot makes money. If Bigfoot's ever found, those shows will no longer be the profitable thing that they have been. So those guys are what's wrong with all this. Mr. Lee says, last week my girlfriend got a phone call at 3 a.m. Can I speak to Mr. Lee 3PO? His number is in my Facebook account. What the fuck? Huh? I don't even know. What the hell, Mr. Lee? Seriously? His number is in my Facebook account. So the person calling to talk to you, that person's number is in your Facebook account? What do you mean by that? I don't understand. I don't understand what you're saying there. That's some weird ass shit right there. Uncle Bone says, Mr. Lee, that was me. I have no Facebook. Haven't been on Facebook for 8 years. What the fuck? Girlfriend anger, though, telling you. Yeah, man. That goddamn AI, man. You know, what if it's the AI just being a fucking jokester? What if this ain't like. What if this ain't just a glitch or somehow a number got to someone that shouldn't have it? What if it's the internet has awakened, it is conscious, and it does stupid shit like this just to fuck with us because it thinks it's funny? Raptor says that, Mr. Lee, did you have to sleep on the couch? Mr. Hughes says, sorry I rung that time of the morning, Mr. Lee. Jesper says, Raptor Crazy, when you create an account, it is connected to your email address, which is connected to an IP address and carrier, Verizon, Comcast, Gmail. Donald says, Mr. Lee 3PO number was in that person's account. Mr. Lee says, yes, he rang twice. I spoke to him. He said he was from Leeds. My girlfriend's phone was connected to his account. Anyways, I cleared it up. But how do you use the name Mr. Lee 3PO on Facebook? And why is this hooking up with your girlfriend's phone instead of yours? Like, there's just so much weirdness here. Angel says, chessboard, so if you use a different email for each account, would that work? I don't know. I mean, it would be better, but it would be a pain in the ass because you'd have to be jumping to different YouTube accounts all the time, where instead of just jumping to your different channels on the same account. I know at some places it uses the term account as if those are separate accounts, but they're separate channels. They're all on one account. So I don't know why they use the word account in those instances that I saw. It makes things confusing, but there should be no way for someone to look at your list of channels. They should, unless you give that information out, that the information should not be public. Raptor says at Chessboard, when I did my YouTube channel, it was separate from Google and everything else. How would they be able to see that my IP is supposedly blocked from who I go with my carrier? Whole lot of mess with your girlfriend. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, I use my real name on Facebook, but I don't touch that account. Neither does my girlfriend like Facebook. Very dodgy, dude. Yeah, this is some spooky ass shit. I mean, you talk to the guy, is a guy, right? Did he tell you how he knew the name Mr. Lee 3PO? I mean, how did he fucking know? How did he fucking know that he could reach Mr. Lee 3PO through your girlfriend's phone? Did you just hear a Bigfoot mimicking an owl? What, here? I don't know. I wasn't paying. Man, yeah, you know, there's crickets chirping, coyotes are half the time howling in the distance. The dogs might be barking. There be owls hooting. And I usually got it tuned out. Feel you on that one, says Raptor. Chessboard says Raptor crazy. If you use Google through Comcast, it has the same IP as your email name you use on Comcast. You understand? Is that okay? That's like like if you were using AOL to access the internet, you had an actual AOL email that was involved with, right? You see, I don't have that kind of situation. Like my email that I use to create accounts is a Yahoo email, so it's not connected to something like that. And then, of course, that's not the email that I put on the channel for people to contact. So theoretically, no one should have my Yahoo email that I actually created the account with. Donald says, I'm pretty sure it was an owl or a Bigfoot mimicking. Hey, it could be. Bigfoot's over there mimicking shit. I guess I haven't posted. I made a video, found some questionable turds in the woods. I'm sure a lot of people will say they were Bigfoot, but we all know they were fucking cows. Raptor says at Chessboard, I understand you have to change your name on each one, different accounts on each one. What? Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, no, I was half asleep. I just jumped up. My security won't happen again. I'm not sure I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. You were half asleep when you got the call, so that's why you didn't ask those questions like how the fuck do you know Mr. Lee 3PO name? So what have you done to jump up your security? Speaking of Facebook, that shit needs to die. So I'm thinking probably going to be Minds. Like, I already have an account on Minds, but I don't know if I need to. Like, I think I need to figure out whichever one's the best alternative to Facebook that's likely to be replacing it, and that people are probably going to start going to in greater numbers. And then, like, just post on Facebook and, send messages or whatever that I want to retire my Facebook account entirely at some point. So, and tell people, look, yeah, going over to Minds. It's probably going to be Minds. It could be something else. I'm not sure yet. But tell people that I'm going over the Minds. If anyone wants to stay connected with me in Minds, they can go over there, and expect that I will probably be discontinuing my Facebook at some time. It's hard to say how soon. It may not even happen. It may be necessary to maintain the account just to be able to, because it does have some uses in finding certain businesses and whatnot, but and new ones, finding new sources of things, but yeah, Chessboard says, Raptor, have you heard of a VPN? Yeah, that's something probably everybody's going to have get, to protect themselves. It's just one of those things. We're in that time, in that age where the internet's getting more and more dangerous. Raptor says to Chessboard, sort of, I don't understand it very well. I'm always on my phone. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, you can never delete your Facebook account entirely, though. They just saying, how fucked up is that? Well, that's another thing that needs to be addressed. So, we don't have a lot of time to go into that kind of stuff, but basically, like, the movement to get people, because people are getting sick of Facebook, they're starting to leave and greater numbers. The younger generation don't want to fucking use Facebook because they're over there on TikTok, because that's the only place they can handle with their attention deficit disorder. So, but there needs to be, like, a huge outcry, a huge demand of Facebook to delete our fucking data. Stop fucking around. Fucking delete it. If we say delete our account, that means goddamn delete our account. Chessboard says, Raptor, your carrier never changes on the phone. All right, y'all. Something to Sasquatch about is coming on. $12 minutes, it looks like. 12 and a half minutes. Might as well pull their page back up. Sean and Brent. Something to Sasquatch about? The devil is in the details. Donald says, I don't like the fact that they know to play estate lawyer commercials on YouTube for me from just commenting about my mom's dilemma. Yeah. Yeah, that the targeted advertising thing is just getting so intrusive. The algorithms, the AI, it's out of control. Mr. Lee says data is already in the system, Lockbeard, unfortunately. It is, but they can fucking delete it. They can delete it. If they really want to, they can delete it. But they don't want to. But we need to force them to. We We need to do whatever we can to try and inform people that there's alternatives to Facebook. We need to go to different places in Facebook, and Facebook needs to be utterly and thoroughly goddamn destroyed. It needs to fucking happen. Yeah, Mr. Lee's post a link to something to Sasquatch about in the chat right there. Angel says, Donald, Facebook, YouTube, any of them do that. Mention anything, and pretty soon an ad will pop up. Or your video suggestions. If you're having a conversation about a particular subject in the presence of your phone, your phone's listening. Your phone's always listening. And you'll start seeing suggested videos pertaining to that subject on YouTube if you have your YouTube account accessed on your phone. Raptor says at Chessboard, thank you. I'll have to call my phone service and check out about that VPN. If I'm not mistaken, it shows where you live and everything else. What? Huh? Search for keep through algorithms, commercials are created and tailored to you. The VPN, Raptor VPNs allow you to, it basically makes it where they can't see where you're at. You're accessing the internet as if you are nowhere. You're off already? Boo. Yeah. Yeah. We've been on here for 2 hours. And something to Sasquatch about's about to come on, and a lot of these people want to be over there, so there's no point in us dragging this out. Let me see how many. 8 minutes and 50 seconds. They'll be live over there unless something goes wrong. Icon says, boo. I'm sorry, man. I'm tired anyway. You have no idea how fucking exhausted I am. Oh. That took too much effort just to shift. No villain phone that I'm aware of. Oh, you're welcome, Mr. Lee. Thank you. Donald says, thing is, I never searched for this stuff. I just talk about it in chats and DMs. Yeah. But they're everything you type, everything you say, man. Somehow the AIs are accessing that shit and using it to determine what to show you, what kind of ads to show you, and what kind of videos to suggest to you on YouTube. And it's scary shit. So, no, I think they're over on Sean's channel. Huh? Why? I don't understand why you're saying that, or what it means. Icon says there's no Uncle Kenny. Going to be a boring night. Well, yeah. No Uncle Kenny, huh? No, Mr. Lee. No, I haven't. I might have had 50 or 60 grams of carbs today, though. But yesterday was keto as hell. And the day before that was keto, straight up carnivore keto. Like I had burger patties with cheese and pork rinds is all I had the day before. My appetite just like plummeted over the last 2 days because of stuff. Like I got yesterday I got the food at the end of the day and I put it down at some point, and I had to pick it back up because my appetite was just goddamn gone, man. Like not in the like normal, like grits on you. Well, that's the problem. I decided that was not a good idea for me. So that's thanks for the congrats, but I'm no longer going to be working there. Going to have to find something else. Raptor says that chessboard, appreciate it, be safe. Thank you, Donald. Stay connected. Is avail on the phone. Do a search. All right. 5 minutes, 13 seconds, according to their timer. So I might fall asleep. So, but I'll be there at least at the beginning. So thank y'all for coming.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Yeah. Yep, we need to build our subscribers up over here. I tell you what. But I'll see you over at Something to Sasquatch About in just a few minutes.